What's up guys, Groovy Guitar Dude here with a lesson on Fragments by Jack Johnson. This is his new song from a documentary called The Smog of the Sea. If you guys haven't checked that documentary out yet, it's a very cool and very informative documentary that Jack Johnson himself is actually in. So check that out, that'll be in the description below if you're curious about it. It's very good, definitely worth a watch. And this will be a lesson for Fragments, which is Jack Johnson's song from the documentary. The first thing you want to know for Fragments are the three chords that we're going to use for this song. The first one is going to be D. The next one will be G. And the last one's going to be A. The next thing you want to know is the chord progression we're going to use for this song. This is a very, very long chord progression, but we're going to use the same chord progression the whole way through the song. So, check this out and watch it back if you need to, because it's kind of a long chord progression, but it's going to be the same thing through the whole entire song. So it's going to go D 3 times, then it's going to go G 3 times, D 3 times, then we're going to switch it here, G 2 times, then we're going to go A 2 times, G 2 times, A 2 times, G 2 times, and then A 2 times, and then we're going to repeat that through the whole entire song. We're going to go back to the beginning of that long, long chord progression. So I could split that up and make it a little bit different, but it's really, that's the gist of it. It's going to be those chords repeated that amount of time. So I'll show you kind of what that looks like. Definitely write that down in a little notepad or something like that. That way you have it while you're playing. So now let me show you what we're going to be doing over here on the finger picking side. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is go over what each chord is going to look like. There's obviously this little picking thing that goes on, but I'm going to show you first what the actual chords looks like. So just for our D chord we're going to start with, for example, what we're going to do, and we're going to do the same thing for each chord. I'll show you what it looks like for each one though. So we're going to do bass note, which on this case for D chord is going to be a D, open D string, and then we're going to play our G and B together, and we're going to slap, and then we're going to do G and B together again. And we're going to do that for each chord, alright? So those places that I said we're going to play D 3 times, for example, or G twice, or this, that, and the other, we're going to play that 3 times, or we're going to play that twice. So for D, for example, our first D of the song is going to look like this. Alright, then what our G's are going to look like is the same exact thing. The only thing that's going to change is our bass notes. This is for a G chord. And our G chord, we're going to have our low E is going to be our bass note, and we're going to do the same thing. G and B, slap, G and B. So, and the last thing is going to be our A, and it's going to be the same thing, just A is our bass note this time, and then G and B, slap, G and B. So, okay, so that's the gist of what we're doing on this song as far as chords go. Now, the place that it's going to change a little bit. So we're going to have, remember, we're going to have our chord progressions D, G, D, G, A, G, A, G, A. And so what we're going to do is on our first 2 sets of D and G and back to D. So basically our first D, our first G, and then our second G. What we're going to do is we're going to play those 3 times each. So those are the chords that we're going to play 3 times. All the other chords we're going to play twice. So those are the ones we're playing 3 times. What we're going to do for each one of those is we're going to have this little picking pattern. Okay, so all this is just on the G and the B strings, and it's going to alternate between 2 different picking patterns, basically the same thing, but we're just going to switch it up a little bit. So the first one is going to be the first picking pattern. It's going to go 3rd fret B, 2nd fret B, open B, 2nd fret G. Alright, so that's our first picking pattern, and we're going to alternate, and we're going to do, this is the second one, so we're going to do, it's almost the same exact thing. We're going to do 3rd fret B, 2nd fret B, and we're going to do a open to hammer on 2nd, and then we're going to pull off on 2nd as well to open on B, and then we're going to go up to a 2nd fret G. Alright, so that one looks like, It's a little quick, it's a little funky, but it's a pretty common technique to use. Jack Johnson uses it quite a bit himself, but a lot of other guitarists do as well. It's a little funky if you're just starting out, but I promise it won't take you very long to get the hang of it. So again, that will be following any of the chords that we play 3 times, which is the first 3 chords of the progression. Alright guys, I know that's a lot, so I'm going to run through it slowly. I'll try to run through it just a little bit slower than he does in the actual song, so you guys can follow where I'm going with it. I also forgot to say that little picking progression, you're going to do that once at the very beginning before you start playing any chords as well. So when you put all of that together, it should look something like this. And guys, that is all you need to know to play Fragments by Jack Johnson on guitar. Like I said, if you have not seen the documentary yet, The Smog of the Sea, I will link that in the description below. Jack Johnson's very heavy on that kind of stuff about like pollution, and that's kind of the general topic of it is pollution and plastic waste and stuff like that. If you're interested in that sort of thing, if you love Jack Johnson, it's a great documentary, very cool. I care about that kind of stuff a lot myself and try to do things to help out in my community in regards to that type of thing. So if you're interested, I'll link that in the description below. That's where this song came from, and it's an awesome song, awesome documentary. I was very excited to see some new stuff from Jack Johnson. As always guys, if you have any questions about how to play this song, you can hit me up in the comments below. I'm usually pretty quick getting back to them. And if this video helped you out, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I have about 300 other guitar and ukulele lessons on this channel, and I usually post 1 to 3 new ones every single day. So if you're learning guitar or ukulele, this is the perfect channel for you to check out. Lastly guys, if you're interested in any of my gear, whether it's my camera, microphone, guitars, strings, picks, capos, any of that kind of stuff, any of the things that I use to make these videos, you can hit it up in the description below. I usually link all of that in the description, that way it's easy for those of you who are curious to find. Guys, I hope you have a lot of fun playing Fragments, and I'll see y'all very soon.